Alright, hello everyone, it's Teamrocketdraws here with another Pokemon drawing tutorial. And for this video, guys, we're going to be drawing another legendary Pokemon, Darkrai. So as you guys can see on screen, this is how he ends up looking like. So if you guys want to learn how to draw him, then let's get started. I'm also going to put up a reference right now on screen. That way it's easier for you guys to draw, and at the same time you guys can get all your details. Just keep in mind, guys, that he's not going to end up looking like the reference 100%, but we do end up getting pretty close. And also keep in mind to do your line slide. That way you guys can erase them later on, since we are going to start by doing a sketch, and then from there on you guys are going to do your final drawing. So just try to keep the shapes and everything that we're going to do at the beginning as close as you can to the way I have them. That way it's easier to follow the tutorial. So first of all, we're going to start off by this like football shape. First I start one side and then I do the line in the middle. We're going to end up doing that line in the middle, so I might as well do it now. And now that I got the shape that I like, the left side, now I can just try to do the same thing on the right side. So just try to get the right angle. If you guys notice, it's not straight, it's not going to the right, it's leaning a little bit more to the right. And basically what we're doing right now is his like I guess the mouth, like the red thing that he has, his teeth or his necklace. Alright, so now that we have that, we're gonna split it right in the middle. And also do the same thing on the angle. So it should be the same on top and the bottom. Alright guys, so now that we have that, we're gonna do this reference line at the bottom. You guys don't have to do it, it's just there to help us. And we're gonna do a circle. So this circle, it gets pretty close to that football shape, we're gonna call it. And it doesn't go higher than the middle of it, and it goes down to where the same level as the bottom of the football shape. And what this is basically, by looking at the reference, guys, is the shoulder. There we go. Now on the other side, for the other shoulder, and this one goes a little bit higher just because the middle line is at an angle. And then this one goes to around there. So this one's pretty small, and it's not a circle, this is more of an egg shape. There we go. Alright guys, so just try to get your shapes as close as you can to these, because we're basically gonna base everything off these shapes. So the better that you guys make it, the way I have it here, the easier it's gonna be to follow the tutorial. Alright, so now that we have that, we're basically gonna go into some of the actual shapes. So there's gonna be this line, which is basically gonna be his teeth, the row of his teeth, and it starts at the top and then it goes to around here under the shoulder. But don't pay attention to the egg-shaped shoulder. Just look at where these lines are on the football shape. That's what matters. And then just do another one parallel to that one. Alright, now that we have that, guys, so right here I'm just coloring that corner on the bottom right shape. It should basically be like that, and there should be a gap in between the shoulder and the first line that we did, and it's the same like gap on the other line. Alright, so now that we have that, guys, around there exactly on the other side of the football shape, we're gonna do another reference line on top of the football shape, and we're gonna do this rectangle shape. So if you guys notice, it goes about the same height as the football shape. Now we're gonna do the same thing on this side. This one's gonna be a lot smaller, obviously, since it's further away. And this one's at an angle. The other one is too, but like it's more of an angle than the other one, is what I'm trying to say. There we go. So we can use that same line, reference line on top of that, just to get a better idea where the other shoulder is. Alright, so now that we have that, guys, we're gonna do this. It's kind of an awkward shape. I can't really describe it, but it starts at the bottom of the football shape, and it connects on the right side of the shoulder. But first of all, we're gonna do the inside shape first. We're gonna do two of these. So just try to do this shape right here, and then we're gonna do another one here. So basically the reason I'm doing this is just for his bottom, the spikes that he has, kind of like his coat. And the reason we're doing those two lines is just so we can know where basically those triangles start on his the bottom of them. So that's why I did the line in the inside, just to make it a little bit easier on us. It's kind of like a moon shape if you guys look at it. Alright guys, so now around here, basically right there where the middle line meets, we're gonna do this shape, which is basically gonna touch or basically use the same shape or line as the football shape, and this is gonna be the giant red tooth that he has in the front. And now we're gonna do how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 teeth, and we're gonna do them inside of those two lines that we did earlier. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then one more, 4. And all these are almost the same size. And then it's just a straight line right there. We'll get to that later on once we start adding what looks like the hair. Alright, so now we're gonna do his eyes. So right there in that tooth, exactly in that tooth, that's where basically the hair meets. So we're gonna do the shape right here, and then this one goes to the third tooth, and it's gonna be basically where the eye's gonna go. I'm sorry guys. There we go, that's just one of his eyes. And then he just has a small oval shape right in the middle. So if you guys look at the reference, hopefully you guys know where we at. Alright, so now that we have that guys, we're gonna do another line right there, just so it could help us do the other row of teeth. And on this side you could only see 2 of them, so we're just gonna add 2. There we go. So now we're gonna do a straight line going up right here, and it's around a little bit lower than the top of the football shape, and then it starts making these curves. So right here, to be honest, it's gonna be probably the hardest part on drawing Darkrai, just because it's not that easy to basically explain how to do his hair. So the hair starts around there, it just continues, and then around here, this is where it gets thinner, but obviously mine is not the same as the reference. Right now I'm just doing a rough sketch of it. And then that's the tip. So the hair is not going to end up exactly the same as the reference. You guys can if you guys pay close attention to the shape of the hair, but you guys could just do that later on. The reason I did it this way is not because it's gonna stay that way, it's just so it could help me once I do the final drawing where the hair should be going. So like where the angle is, or where it should basically be placed. Alright, so now for this arm, we're gonna do this like wavy things that he has on his shoulders, and it should basically fit inside of these rectangles. Once again, it doesn't have to fit exactly in the inside guys. Those are just there to help us place or basically get the shape of them. So right under that, it basically is the same shape, kind of like a hill. And then there's like a straight line right there, then it goes up. So out of all Darkrai, this is where I had the most trouble. It's just doing the shapes right here of the shoulders, But remember guys, it doesn't have to be like the reference, and it doesn't have to be like mine. As long as it looks like Darkrai, then go ahead and make any shapes. It doesn't have to be perfect. So right here I'm just doing like a rough sketch of it. Once I do my final drawing, I look at the reference a little bit more, you know, and try to just make it a little bit better than the way I have it right now. Like I said, it is still a sketch, you know. So either here guys, you guys could just try to follow mine, but I recommend just looking at the reference and just basically using those rectangles that we place, just so you guys can know and get the angles of the, I don't know what they are guys, to be honest, the things that are coming out of his shoulder. Alright, so now on this side we're gonna do this line right here, which is basically gonna be part of his body right there under his teeth. And then there's like his tail, I believe. So I'm just gonna do like a rough sketch of it, and then I'll go more into detail later on. So now for his arm, sticks out around there, and it starts thinner, and then once it gets to the hand, it starts getting wider. So then I'm just trying to get the right angle for the arm, and I noticed that it goes around. I do a reference line going at the bottom of the moon shape that we did earlier at the bottom, just for like his wrist, because that's where, if you guys look at the reference, the wrist is at the same level as the bottom spike. So knowing that, then now I can just do the hand under that. Do one finger, then the other one. This might take you guys a few tries just to get it right, but just try your best guys. Usually when you do your sketch is when you're basically trying to get the shape of it, you know, a little bit better, the size of it. That's basically where you're trying to mold it to the point where you could just add the details and it's gonna look a lot better. So the better that you guys do your sketch, the easier it's gonna be to do the final drawing. Hopefully some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Now on this side, for this arm, goes to around there. Basically that's where the wrist is. And now I started doing the hand. So this one is obviously gonna be a little bit smaller just because it's further away. I had a lot of trouble with this hand. For some reason I couldn't get the right shape for it. There we go guys, so we basically got our sketch right there. And just because I have it like that doesn't mean it's gonna stay like that. Like I said before, we could just work on the final drawing later on once we have more of a sketch. So now we're gonna do this side, and this one's a little bit easier. I know it starts right there in the corner and it gets this shape, and it's basically the same height as his hair, and then it starts curving in, and then around the middle of this rectangle it kind of makes like an M shape, or like two upside down mountains. I don't know if you guys see that. So it basically bends right in the middle of the rectangle shape on the left side. So that one was a little bit easier. And we're basically done guys. Now it's just about adding all those small details. So I know that I look at the reference and I know that there's like the biggest spike is here, or the second biggest, and then it has another one that sticks out here, and then the smallest one is it gets further away, and then there's like another thin one, and then it gets to be like the widest or the biggest one here, and then there's another one a little bit the same but a little bit smaller. And right now I'm just looking at the angle of these triangle shapes, and it just gets a lot smaller. So as long as you guys get the right angle on these, then you guys could leave it. But if it doesn't look good now guys, you guys could always change it. And we basically got a rough sketch guys. Now I just start erasing some of those lines that I don't see on the sketch, I mean on the reference. So right there the lines don't touch on the red tooth. And just by erasing some of these lines, we're starting to see Darkrai a little bit better. And I apologize, guys. Apologize for the quality of the video. I know it's a little bit blurry. I'm working on getting another camera. They cost a lot of money, and I don't have that kind of spare money, but one day I will. So right here I just started erasing some of those reference lines. For example, right there on the arms, there's no lines that split it apart. Now right here on the waist area. And now I do this bottom lip right here, and I go over the shoulder or the circle just so I can know that it's gonna match up right on the other side. I recommend always doing that, not just guessing on the other side, because sometimes it just doesn't, it looks a little bit weird, you know, the angle of the lines just don't match up, and overall it looks a little bit weird. So just by doing that, it looks a little bit better on the eyes. Alright, so now I started erasing all these reference lines, guys, and there we go, guys. We basically got our Darkrai sketch. There we go. Just by erasing those lines, it looks a lot better. Alright, so now it's just all about just going over your sketch, guys. So right here I wasn't happy with that, so I erased it. Like I said before, that was probably the hardest part for me, or one of the hardest parts other than the smaller arm. And right here I know that the arm is, or that this shoulder thing, spike or whatever it is, I honestly don't know what it is. I know it's like fire in a way. I know it's supposed to be there, so I know that it's going around there. So just by looking at the reference, I'm looking at the shapes and the different things that it makes, you know, where it gets thin, where it gets wider, where it curves. And just by looking at the reference and knowing where it should be, we could basically get a better shape of that part of Darkrai. The reason I wasn't too happy with it was just because it was too thin compared to the overall drawing. Because if you guys notice, this one's a lot thicker, wider than the one on the other side. And the way I had it before, they were basically the same size, so I wasn't happy with that. And like I said, guys, it doesn't have to be exactly like the reference. You guys could just work with it, you know, make it any shape that you guys want, but just try to stick to it a little bit, to the reference. That way it doesn't look too weird. But as long as you guys are happy with it, then that shouldn't be a problem. So I just made it a little bit wider. And now for the tail part. So I know that the tail should be around there. It's basically that shape. So knowing that it's that shape, I could just start adding all those turns on the tail, you know, because it's not a straight tail. And just by that, I could just try to follow the lines and just curve on some of the areas that need to be curved, and just erase all those the sketch that we did of the tail. And we're pretty much done with the tail. That's why I left it to the end. And I'm just erasing all these reference lines because it doesn't have it. And yeah, guys, like I said before, just go over your sketch and make any changes. If you guys are not happy with it, go ahead and make those changes. Right here, I forgot that these little like spikes or hairs that Darkrai has around the shoulder, kind of like on the elbow area. And then I'll work right here on top of the eye, on the line a little bit, just by looking at the reference. If the teeth don't look good, you guys could work on that. There's another spot that I wasn't too happy with, it was the hair. And now looking at it, comparing it to the reference, since they're side by side, maybe just making where the hair starts on the other row of teeth, where it just has two, just making it a little bit more straight up, you know, like here I make it lean a little bit more to the right as it's going up. But if I would have kept it straight up and then leaned it to the right, it would have looked a lot better just by looking at it right now. But obviously, guys, when I was doing my sketch, I didn't have the reference side by side to compare it, although I did have it on my tablet, but it's not the same once you have it, for example, here on the video side by side. So right here I'm just working on the top of his hair and just working on the shape. I know where it should be, and I know where it curves, you know, I know how high it is, and basically that's it, guys. So once you have your final sketch, then you guys could either just outline it in pen or a fine tip Sharpie, any way that you guys want it. Usually the way I do it is where I just erase the whole sketch and then start all over, and then it makes it look a lot cleaner, like the way you guys see it right here. So that's the way I do it, guys. It's still the same sketch, but I just work on the lines a lot better. And even though it's the same sketch, just making those lines like curve and just adding those small details changes the drawing a lot, to be honest. Look at this compared to the reference. It's fairly close, you know, and comparing my outline to my sketch is the same thing, but just a lot cleaner, you know. Some of those lines, they're not straight like the way we had it for the sketch, you know. I basically just try to add those like curves on the body and all that, and it just makes it look a lot better, even though it's the same on the same spot, you know. So you guys could either try to follow the sketch, not the sketch, guys, I'm sorry, the reference, or my outline right here. That's why I upload it. It might help you guys a little bit. I worked on the hands a little bit for my final drawing. The same thing for the teeth. I just worked on the shapes a little bit. And the hair, I also worked on the hair. If you guys notice, it's not the same as the reference, but it got to the point where I was happy with it, so I just left it like that. Looking at mine at the end, it's a little bit bigger than it is on the reference, but I'm okay with it. And basically that's my final outline, guys. And I did end up coloring it. As you guys see here, I started off by just using a fine tip Sharpie and just outlining everything that you guys see here. And then I used my Prisma Premier color markers and my Copics that I recently got, and I just basically used dark grays. I didn't want to, you guys could use black because it's basically black, but just making it black, it wasn't gonna look too good, so I decided to make it like use my dark grays. And for the body, I used two different ones. I used the lighter one and then the darkest gray that I had, and then I tried my best to blend them, although I'm not always successful doing it. And then for the red, I just used two different reds. I used like a darker red and just a regular red. For the eye, I used kind of like this mint green bluish color. And for his hair, I used two different grays, a light gray and then just a little bit darker gray for the shadow of it. And basically that's it, guys. He doesn't have that many colors to him. And overall, I can't say it's one of my best drawings, but it is okay. Like, I'm okay with this. So as long as it looks good, like I think it's okay, then it doesn't have to look exactly like the reference. I'm fine with it, you know. So overall, I think it came out okay, guys. Hopefully yours did too. So if you guys enjoyed watching this video, if you guys ended up getting this far or ended up drawing Darkrai, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know how he turned out. Let me know if you guys need any help. I would always comment if I see anybody that's asking for help. So, and other people could comment on the video that are watching your comments, looking at your comments. They might be able to help too. So yeah, guys, so I just want to thank you guys for watching, and remember, you guys could always send in your drawings by sending them in to my Twitter. The links will be in the description, to my email also, whichever way is easier for you. I also have my Facebook on there, but to be honest, I don't use that one. But yeah, guys, so I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Team Rocket Draws.